roots, the nutrients, right? You know my analogy of the leaf rotting in the tree, we don't treat the leaf, we treat the soil. You put the nitrogen in the soil, the leaf heals. Human beings are the same way. And the way that we heal is we first get back to the basics. Once you got the basics covered, now we build a pathway to optimal health, right? You cannot diet your way around poor sleep. You can't exercise your way around a poor diet. And so that's where we start. And what I'm hoping to do with you guys through this VIP community is build a root foundation that is so unshakable and strong that we can actually build a temple above it, right? And the temple I'm talking about is the one that you're looking, well, not me particularly, this is a metaphor, but is your temple. Right? Because I want us to start thinking about this as a temple. I want us to treat it like a temple. Don't let thieves in here. Let things that are going to serve us into our temple. And then it begins to serve you in ways that you couldn't imagine. People are like baffled sometimes when I do 9 cities in 11 days with my wife, and they're on opposite sides of the world, and I do 6 or 7 cities in the US, and then I hop a plane and I go 15 hours to Dubai, and then I go, Bahrain and Saudi Arabia, and I have 15 hours back. If you've ever followed me on social media, you're not even showing up to my challenges, so you didn't follow that one. And I post my sleep scores, and they're like 96, 98%, 99%, 100%. That's because I prioritize those things. I schedule meetings and travel around sleep and exercise. Right? I don't schedule sleep and exercise around meetings and travel. You know what the most bullied thing is in most of your schedules? You know what the stepchild is in your day? Sleep. Mm-hmm. You push it around because it's the easiest thing to manipulate in your schedule. Everything else should come to a stop, and your sleep should dictate your day. Amen. Not allow your day to dictate your sleep. Mm-hmm. And so, I'm going to give you a little tip this week. What I want you to do when we leave here after you're home from this conference, for 7 days, I want you to do 2 things. I want you to get all the folic acid out of your diet. Any food that is fortified or enriched, I want you to do 1 week, just stop eating it. Spin your box of crackers and everything else around. If it says fortified or enriched, don't eat it. You can get the organic version of those. The second thing I want you to do is I want you to set an alarm on your phone 15 minutes before the time you promise yourself you're going to go to bed. So if you say I'm going to go to bed at 10:30, set an alarm for 10:15 and get your ass in bed at 10:30. Keep the promise you made to yourself, because the little tiny promises we break to ourselves, that's what erodes our self-confidence. And when we start losing confidence in our ability to subconsciously trust ourselves, nothing else matters. And so you can begin to rebuild that self-confidence by beginning to trust yourself, by listening to the voice, the voice that only you hear. It's not like you told your spouse you're going to go to bed 10:30 and then you went to bed at 11. You just never told them when you were going to go to bed. But mentally you did, and you lied to yourself. Right? So get used to depending on yourself. So do that. 15 minutes before, go to bed at the same time every night. Do these 5 things before you go to bed. You ready? Because if you had participated in my sleep challenge, which none of you did, which is why I hope you're all sleeping like hell. I hope all of you get terrible night's sleep. But if you were on this sleep challenge, it was so fascinating, because none of what I'm about to tell you is going to cost you a penny. I had so many people join this challenge that Whoop actually co-sponsored it with me, and they sent thousands and thousands of these Whoop bands out to people, and I developed a baseline. And I said, okay, here's what we're going to do. First of all, I'm just going to bring your awareness to sleep. Because if I say, hey, what do you do to go to sleep? Most people say, I get in bed. Well, what time do you go to bed? Whenever I get there. What kind of sleep hygiene do you have? What's your sleep routine? I don't have a sleep routine. Well, you have a routine for your business. You have a routine to exercise. You got a routine to get your kids to school. You don't have a routine for your own human superpower? Okay, so let's develop one. So here's what I do. There's 5 things that I do. Number 1, if you're a ruminator, if you're one of those people that lays down to go to bed at night and your mind is awake but your body is tired, okay? First of all, I want you to add extra magnesium at night. That helps break down thought. But if you're a ruminator, I want you to do this. I want you to take a contrast shower. Step into the shower when it's warm, turn it as hot as it will go, let it run on the back of your spine. Step out of that stream of water, turn it as cold as it will go. Step back into the stream of water and deal with it. Just deal with it for 30 seconds. I lost half of you right there. Aging is the aggressive pursuit of comfort, guys. So let's not fall into that trap. All right, we pursue comfort so aggressively that we accelerate aging. Step back into that stream of water for 30 seconds, shut the water off, and towel off. Why? Because it's going to break the catecholamine cycle in your brain.
30 seconds cold, 30 seconds hot.
30 seconds as hot, 30 seconds to a minute as hot as you can stand it, and then 30 seconds as cold as you can stand it. What's that? Okay, and I'm going to get to Q&A. And then the second thing I want you to do is chill the room down as cold as you can stand it, 65 to 69 degrees. Invest in a $10 sleep mask, or surgically remove every ounce of light from the room. And by that I mean throw a towel over your alarm clock on the nightstand, close your drapes like a surgeon, like the light's going to kill you because it takes so little cortisol to raise it. And then when you get in bed, turn your phone off and lay in bed and do this breathing technique. 10 seconds in through your nose. Pause for 3 seconds and go out through a straw. And see if you make it to 10 breaths. And you will have the best night's sleep that you've had. Okay, I want to open it to questions. I also wanted to spend about 30 more seconds on H2 tabs, because if you missed me talking about the launch of this, guys, this product is going to change your life and the life of the people that you recommend this to. Because you saw my little ORP water test, right, when we were up there. I encourage you, if you want to actually sell these tabs or you want to show people that they work, get one of these $6 meters off of Amazon and show them that that water is going from 165 to about a negative 300 in 10 seconds, which means you are dropping the inflammation in your body. Dee, do you have a question back there? You're about ready to fire up the mic?
We're going to fire up this mic. Okay, who's got a question? Laura Lynn? I'm going to hold this because I know a little about you, young lady.
Okay, so does the hydrogen dissipate? Like once you put it in the water, how long does it stay in the water?
Oh, so it will take 50 seconds to dissolve. The sooner you drink it, the better. But it will last for about 50 minutes to an hour. Right? So what happens is the larger bubbles will leave first. The micro bubbles will stay in there a lot longer. Right? This is actually making nano bubbles of hydrogen gas. The reason why you actually can't see the bubbles and it looks just very cloudy, I don't know if you can see this, but there's actually a little bit of smoke coming out of the top of that. So there is actually hydrogen gas escaping from that, which is perfectly harmless for you. But if you drink this while it's cloudy with your isotonics in it, you will feel those hit your bloodstream. Who's next?
Next question is over here.
Okay.
First of all, Gary, thank you for everything. Appreciate it.
You're so
there's a lot of
welcome.
supplements out there.
We're just getting started too, brother.
There's a lot of things out there, a lot of supplements. Do you recommend a blood test or a DNA test to figure out what's right for you?
At minimum, I recommend a blood test. And here's why I recommend a blood test. Because the blood will change, DNA won't. You can also do a DNA test for what you're deficient in. When you look at a blood, you should look at 5 things. Okay? These are the general categories you want to look at. You want to look at hormone balance, nutrient deficiencies, blood sugar control, what's called a lipid panel, and a full hormone profile. Reason why I say to look at those is because generally what happens in people that have low hormones that are causing all kinds of issues is they're actually not low on the ability to make the hormone, they're low on the nutrients needed for the body to build it. In other words, if you're deficient in DHEA or vitamin D3, you will be low on hormones. If you have too much of something called SHBG in your blood and not enough boron, you will actually have low levels of certain hormones in your blood. Which it's astounding to me how many deficiencies in nutrients, in minerals, in vitamins, in amino acids in the body express themselves as conditions like hormone imbalance. So I hope I answered your question, but yeah. How do you order that blood? Any primary care doctor should be able to do that for you. CBC, CNP, comprehensive metabolic panel, complete blood count, hormones, lipids, nutrient deficiencies. So I don't know where the microphone is, but who's passing the microphone? Yes, ma'am, in the yellow. Where is the microphone? Nobody can hear you. Oh, it's over there. Okay, so ask that and then we'll bring it over here.
Hey, Gary. My name is Joe Pontak, and I have a question for you. I was diagnosed with arthritis in my shoulder and rheumatoid arthritis, and they told me I would have to have a shoulder replacement. So it's a double-sided question. First off, I stopped going to the doctor about 7 months ago, I completely stopped because I read about cortisone. I listened to you about the whole cortisone shots.
Yes.
And you said six years to the day, I can tell you when you're going to have a replacement. And I just stopped. I said, screw it, I'm done.
Great choice.
So can I get a replacement? Can I fix what damage has been done with the cortisone? And then what do I do going forward with the arthritis?
Okay, so first of all, if we talk about rheumatoid arthritis, which is an autoimmune disease, and for the record, let's talk about rheumatoid arthritis for a moment, which is called an autoimmune disease. And just for the record, as a matter of disclaimer, I am not a physician. I am not licensed to practice medicine, so I don't want to be misconstrued as giving medical advice. But I will give you physiology advice, right, in terms of how the body works. Anytime we have an autoimmune condition, again, like I said from the stage earlier, the first thing that we assume that the immune system has made a mistake. I want us to first take a step back from that. So it didn't matter that you said rheumatoid, it wouldn't matter what autoimmune case you had, so I'm going to answer a broader question, but it will answer yours as well. Is we should ask ourselves, why is the immune system attacking that tissue? Why is it after the colon? Why is it after the thyroid? Why did it just pick the left shoulder one day? Right? The immune system just running around like, I'm bored, Stan. There's a shoulder joint. Why don't we jump him? Right? And then they just jump the shoulder joint. They didn't jump any other joints, just jump that one. So the point is, what could be happening here that's not happening anywhere else? And the answer is this. It is usually, this next time we meet, I can get a lavalier. And the answer is mold, mycotoxin, metals, and viruses. Write those down. Mold, mycotoxin, metals, viruses, and occasionally parasites. Those are the 4 invaders that hide around the body, and the immune system chases them. You know, I've known people that have had chronic Lyme for decades, right? Because Lyme disease doesn't just stand in the bloodstream and wait for criminals don't come out during the daylight, right? They go into the dark alleys. They go for the cars that are open. They smash windows when nobody's looking. Viruses are the same way. They don't just stand around, waving their hand at the immune system. They hide. They hide in areas like the dorsal root ganglion. So we need to find them, and there are tests that you can do for these, and you get those pathogens out of the body, and then the body heals. When heavy metals get embedded in the thyroid, which we call Hashimoto's, when heavy metals get embedded in the thyroid, the immune system will chase the heavy metals into that gland. Just like if somebody robbed the bank and ran into that door right here and locked the door, the police would bust that door down. Not because they're trying to destroy the door, but they're chasing the offender. And then when they came in here, if in the act of chasing that offender, a couple of you got hurt and bruised and innocent people got knocked over and all this inflammation started, this is what happens with the immune system. The immune system is vigilant, right? It'll break down the cell wall by manufacturing an antibody. It will go in there and start a bar fight, and you'll have inflammation in all of these conditions. And then we want to hold the cop responsible for the bank robbery, right? We're like, why don't we punish the police for breaking the door? Right? This is what we do, and I'm just giving you this metaphor because I want you to have faith that maybe your immune system didn't make a mistake, and maybe you actually have a pathogen, and we should go help the immune system find it and get it out.
Over here, Gary.
Yes. Got time for 1 or 2 more? Yeah.
Gary. Hello.
I cannot tell where your voice is coming from. Okay, there you are. People like Gary. Gary, it's coming out of here. Oh, there you are. And I got these lights in my face. Yeah.
So I have a question. I deal with a lot of women who are in menopause and dealing with hair loss.
Yes.
And I don't have an answer for them.
Yeah. So let's. That's called diffuse alopecia, and so what are some of the causes of diffuse alopecia? First of all, in menopause, this is a misnomer about female menopause. You actually still have a cycle. It's just that the amplitude is lower, right? This is probably the most important piece of advice I could give, and it's not medical advice. You may want to write this down. In women, especially menopausal women, it is not the level of hormones that's important. It is the ratio of hormones that is important. It is the ratio of hormones to one another. Women have certain ratios that need to be maintained in their hormones. So for example, if you were a premenopausal, if you're a menstruating woman, it's perfectly normal for your estrogen to be 400, it's perfectly normal for it to be 13. Who's to say that 172 or 224 or 96 is high or low? You don't know. You have to look at its ratio to other hormones. Because especially in women, as hormones get out of ratio, they express different characteristics. One of the most common is estrogen dominance. And it doesn't mean estrogen's too high, it means estrogen is too much more than the other hormones, like progesterone. So for example, in a man, if you have a testosterone level of 800 and your estrogen is 90, no problem. If you have a testosterone of 200 and your estrogen is 90, huge problem. You're crying at children's movies. You can't even make it through Bambi. Right? Same levels, different ratios. Right? So I would do something called a Dutch test. A Dutch test. Yes, ma'am. And please don't just shout my name. Wave. Let me know where the microphone is. Oh, I hear it. I have a question. Yes. Guys, I really pray that you have signed up for this VIP community. For the love of God, at least the first month, because it's free. Because we're going to do a lot more of just this. And the fact that you guys are so receptive to this, like I feel like I could just talk to you guys all day. I really do. I've got endless energy for this. Are you guys getting value out of this? Oh my God. I love you guys, man. I really do.